Hi there. Good afternoon. Well, I would say happy Tuesday, but it is horrendous. It's a little bit better than happy Monday was. I've got to say this. Just give me 1 second while I try to find where to set me oh, there it is. As usual, I forgot to set my timer, didn't I? Yeah, as usual. Still, we shall do it now. There we go, done it. Where would I be without me bippity beep, bippity beep at the end of every video? Well, I'm wearing a very old sweater that everybody always loves, very old cardigan. All I can say is I think it's still available on Etsy as a PDF. It was a Lister's pattern, very, very elderly, very, very old. And I'm wearing it, oh, and I'm wearing me. But it's a bit sharp, this necklace. It's sort of sticking on everything. And where would I be without a message? I always get a message, don't I? A minute. Weather, horrendous, horrendous. Yesterday it was, oh, can't tell you what it was like yesterday. There was no way I was going to knit club. I messaged my friend and she goes to knit club on a push bike. So she said, there's no way I'm going there. And I can't imagine that many people actually did, because most of the people there, as I said before, are elderly, like moi. And they don't have cars. So, you know, to battle through what it was like yesterday, we don't want to go there, no. So I'd imagine it was very, very light on attendance yesterday. And today, I wouldn't have been going anywhere anyway today, because I don't go out on a Tuesday. But looking out there, I'm like, no. Even to go to the shed, it's like a mud bath. The lawn, it's rained so much that even the lovely drainage that we had put in isn't working. It's just like a swamp. I thought, I am not going out there. I have not got a pair of welly bobs, galoshes, Wellington boots, whatever you want to call them, over boots. I haven't got a pair of those. So there is no way I'm getting blown to bits, tramping through an inch of water to get anything from my shed. So what is in the shed will stay in the shed. Yeah. Anyway, what have I been doing? Well, yesterday I did get my udder light. Yeah. It is meant for cows. And some of the names I've been called when I used to be in the job centre, it's very apt, yeah. And it says, soothes and cools for a healthy blood flow. It's meant to be put on cows to protect them from getting mastitis. But I got recommended it many, many moons ago to put on my knee, because I was limping. I went to one of these gorgeous, oh shush. I went to one of these gorgeous wool fests that they used to have at Cockermouth. And there was a guy there saw me limping. And he was a friend of a friend. It wasn't like a complete stranger came up to me in the middle of Woolfest. And he said, I can see you limping. He said, is it arthritis? I went, well, yeah. I said, I've had a new knee. I said, but I'm still limping. And he said, you need to get some udder light, but with peppermint oil. And I thought, it's a bit weird. Anyway, cut a long story short, I decided I'd order some. And I did. And it was great, and I didn't bring it with me because the tube got damaged and it was running and trickling everywhere, and I thought, oh no, it's going to leak all over me, whatever I'm packing, you know. I thought, I don't want everything smelling of peppermint oil and gunk, and so I didn't bother. Anyway, the other day I thought, I'm going to order some more, so I did. So I smell beautifully of peppermint. So instead of my lovely musk oil that I get from the Body Shop, I am now smelling everywhere of peppermint. But it could be worse. I mean, we've all had those, what do you call them, anti-inflammatory gel things that absolutely, oh, smell awful, you know, like Fiery Jack, was it, an allergy pan or something. These are the old ones my dad used to use. My dad used to walk in through the front door, you know, from work, and oh, Dad, what have you got on, you know, and it, oh, you know, it really was. But they have moved on. And I smell of peppermint. So they have moved on. Anyway, what have I been doing? Well, I showed people on my live on Saturday I'd started making a cardigan, which I'll show you, and I'd actually started using a hook that was sent to me by Doris Chan. It's an Etimo rose, and I've struggled with it. I didn't have a 6mm hook in Susan Bates, didn't have one, so I thought, yeah. As I can say, it's got a blob on the end, a blob. I've struggled and I've struggled. I did manage to do part of it, but I did struggle. Anyway, I went rummaging and rummaging, and I did manage to find a Susan Bates, but the only one I had was the plasticky one, what they call them, something like they call them. Not theodolite, but something like they call them. Crystal light, that's it. So I'm struggling with this. I have ordered, in fact I've ordered two to be on the safe side. One with a wooden handle, well, bamboo handle, and one with a soft handle. But they're coming from the US, and of course they won't be coming till February. In the meantime, I'm still crocheting. So I was using up the end of my Tuscany that I'd used for my daughter-in-law. I think she likes the hood. It's difficult to tell with my daughter-in-law. She doesn't exactly show enthusiasm, you know what I mean? She goes, oh, thank you. Not, so whether she wears it or not, I don't know. Anyway, I looked to see if there was any more of this online. No, it's discontinued everywhere. None of it to be had anywhere. So I think I'm going to be short. But I was only using up the last 4 balls I had left over, because I must have had 10. Used 6, well, most of 6 to do the hood and the cowl thing. So I started a pattern by, she's called, I don't know how you pronounce her name. I think it's Oana. It's O-A-N-A. She does do some lovely YouTube videos. Oana. She's a little bit difficult to understand, but we get there in the end. Anyway, she was doing a round neck top down jacket. And I thought, oh, I've made it before. I must have used this pattern. Starts it and then discovers, no, it wasn't that pattern I'd used when I ripped out my cardigan out of the stash of my cardigan. It was one I'd had from some kind of a crochet magazine, which of course, as you know, I debunked a lot of my crochet magazines when I moved here. I got rid of them all, so I must have got rid of that pattern, sadly. Anyway, I've struggled through, I've managed. She's not very clear. She just says increase evenly 8 times across the row. So she leaves it up to you to sort out 8 times. And then she just says repeat these rows, which I presume she means put more plain bits in the middle of these 8 increases. I presume she means, because she's not very clear. Anyway, oh shush phone. Why does everybody send me messages when I'm on my video? Anyway, I've done one sleeve. I've started top down. You know, I'm going to throw that phone through the window in a minute. And it's only gone short. So I started the other sleeve, but I've only got the 1 ball. Now this pattern, this sleeve took almost 1 ball. And I don't like 3/4 sleeves, as I've said to you before. I'd rather have a short body. Well, I've got a short body and long sleeves. So unless I can get out into the shed, squelch, 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 maybe I can put an edging or a border with one of these colours, if I've got any one of these colours in chunky. Maybe I can put an extra bit on the bottom and, you know, do a band at the front, because it's very unfinished at the front. It needs at least a row of double crochet. Sorry, US single crochet, my double crochet, up the front to even it up a bit. So when the weather improves, haha, not set to improve this week, but we can live in hope. So I'll finish this sleeve and then see how much I've got left to put on the bottom, which won't be much, I don't think, because it's quite wide across the bottom. Yeah. Still, I shall sort it out one way or the other. I'm like Leslie from Not Quite Enough Yarn. I always have to finish off something with something else because I never have quite enough yarn. Yeah. Because I used it, didn't I, for the hooded thing. But still, never mind. At least I made the hoodie thing, didn't I? Cheers. Frida Kahlo again. Different mug. Same Frida Kahlo. Oh, that's lovely and hot. I only like coffee when it's hot because I drink it black. I went off milk in my coffee many, many moons ago. Yeah. And now I can't drink it with milk. So black coffee it is. Except when I go to FBK Cafe in Fleetwood and their coffee is... I don't know what they make it with. I think they make it with the dishwater they're throwing out, but it's not nice. But you're a bit stuck for what you can have, you know. The hot chocolate is too sweet. They do milkshakes, but then they do it with ordinary cow's milk, which I can't have because it upsets my stomach. So I wind up with, you know, one of the fizzy drinks, which, you know, you don't always want on a cold day, do you? You want a hot drink, don't you? And I don't like tea. I am not a typical English person. I do not like tea. My mother was a proper tea belly, as we used to call them in those days. Cup of tea, cup of tea, cup of tea, all day long. Will you make me a cuppa? Make me a brew, make me a cup of tea. Oh, I'm parched, my throat's so dry. It's been ages since I had a brew. Mum, it was about half hour ago. Yeah, but I'm parched again. Can you make me a brew? I was like tea girl when I was young. Tea girl. No wonder I hate tea. Anyway, what have I been doing? I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos. I think I mentioned it before. Like fibre artists, not particularly crochet. You know, like fibre artist fashions. And yesterday I was watching programmes like Carnaby Street, which I was lucky enough to go down and buy a couple of things in its heyday. You know, back in the 60s I couldn't afford much in Carnaby Street because the prices even back then, you know, were comparably expensive. They seem cheap now, but they were comparatively expensive with what, you know, wages were. So, but back then I was a great copyist. I think I've told you before. I would go places and have a good look. I'm just sad there wasn't like mobile phones where you could have took photographs of things because I had to memorise and then go home and do a little sketch. I used to sew back in the day. Don't now. So just about sew a seam straight, and that's a, you know, probably a wiggly line, but you know. But I used to sew back in the day. But that fabric was quite cheap back in the day. And the patterns were quite cheap. You bought a basic pattern and you could make quite a few dresses by a few little alterations to them. Now, looking at the price of paper patterns, you know, for sewing, you know, I talk about crochet patterns being expensive, but paper patterns, oh, tremendously expensive. I mean, I got rid of all of mine, but to be truthful, they wouldn't be any use to me because when I used to sew back in the day, they were size 10, 12. And size 10, 12, back in when I was a size 10, 12, was very, very slim. I doubt that anybody that is now a UK 10, 12 would be able to fit in any of these dress patterns because they were shaped. Beautiful, yeah. Anyway, I used to go home and I used to get some fabric and I used to copy them. I used to think I was the bee's knees. Probably wasn't, but I used to think I was, yeah. Anyway, I was looking at all these designs, you know, from Carnaby Street and things like that. And one lady was saying what I had thought, and people keep shouting me down, but I did think, that the 60s covered 3 different eras of fashion. It started off with the tailored stuff, you know, these Chanel type things, the Jackie Onassis kind of, well, Jackie Kennedy she was back in the day. Tailored little jackets and everything. That was the early 60s. And we still had shirt wasters and things back in the early 60s. Then it went to what people think of as the 60s, which was the Mary Quant, the crochet dresses and everything. And then still in the 60s, it went to the hippies. People think of the hippies as being 70s. It wasn't. It was the late 60s. You know, the psychedelic colours, the flowing, flared trousers. I used to wear all of them, believe me. I was the queen of psychedelia, yeah. I used to wear all that. Again, once again, used to make all my own things. I wish I'd kept. We didn't have a camera back in those days. Or if we did, we had an old black and white one that you took the film to the camera, to the chemist or you sent it away. And it cost a bomb to have everything printed. And we had a rubbish camera anyway that took pictures where you were about that big so far away. So I have no pictorial whatever. I've got the patterns, but that's not the same as the ones I made, is it? I made some lovely crochet mini dresses. I used to think I was it. I used to sew underskirts in lining material because I wasn't that cheeky that I used to just wear underwear, you know. I used to make a slip, an underslip, whatever you want to call it, out of lining material. I used to get as near as I could to the colour, or if I couldn't I would get a nice contrast colour and wear it underneath these crochet mini skirts, mini dresses. I even crocheted hot pants, would you believe? See, back in the day I had the figure. Yes, I know I do have a long memory. But hey, I've not always been Mrs. Old Frump. I used to be little Mrs. Fashionable. Talking about fashionable, I was watching the trends for 2024. I watched the London street fashion, and it was like so, you know. And I'm looking at it thinking, you know, they need to up the game a bit. And then it went to Milan. OMG. We're not talking catwalks here, we're talking about the people in the street. There was some guy just photographing people, well, videoing people as they walked past. What? Stylish? Absolutely, absolutely. Stylish people just walking. You knew they were just ordinary people. They weren't like celebs or anything like that, you know. And I'm looking at them thinking, oh my goodness me, if I won the lottery, would I be stylish? Yes, I would. I would be straight to whichever shop stopped my size, you know, because they're all slim, aren't they? Seems to be fashionable, you've got to be thin. But I'm sure if you have money, you can go somewhere where you can be fashionable and a bit on the plump side, yeah. Anyway, winter white seems to be the colour. It seems to be. And I'm like, do I have any winter white in my shed? Sadly, I don't think so. And it's kind of going against my... I didn't make resolutions, as you know, for 2024, because I always break them. But my goal was to use up wool, yarn, whatever you want to call it, out of the shed. It was not to keep buying, yeah. But I'm like, oh, I really want winter white. Really want it. Don't want white. It's like winter white. It's not quite cream, and it's not white. It's winter white. And I thought I would love a chunky cardigan when it's nice enough to wear a cardigan as a top jacket, yeah. Or, failing that, I would like a furry jacket, you know, a bought one, furry. I don't mean fur, just a furry, yeah. I used to have a beautiful edge-to-edge black jacket. It was what they call Persian lamb, but it was imitation before all the vegans get at me. It was imitation Persian lamb. It was sort of like a velveteen, but it had a bit of a swill pattern on it. I loved that jacket. But of course, I grew out of it, and I could no longer wear it because it was like throttling me. So I got rid of it. I gave it to somebody. Before the days of eBay and selling, I gave it to somebody. And now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I had that jacket. I wish I had a jacket. I even looked up the price of black, like fun fur stuff, you know, to see how much it would be to make a jacket. But the cheapest I could find was $1.99 a ball, and it was double knitting. But I don't know how many balls I would need. It was only 50 grams, so probably about 10, maybe. Which means that's £20. Do I want to pay £20 for a hand-knit furry jacket? Do I? Like I said once again, I am trying my hardest not to buy any more yarn. But I can see it coming to a shuddering halt very, very soon. Because I really have this desire for a chunky winter white cardigan and a black, like fun fur jacket, yeah. And I know I've not got either in the shed. How long do you think I can hold out? I have to hold out for the month of January, that is for sure, because I've got some logs to buy. I'm supposed to be getting a passport. I need to get my eyes tested, and there was one other thing I need to buy. Something else I need to spend money on. I know there's 4 things before I get paid at the end of January. So I will have to curb this desire for winter white and black fur. Oh, I shall have to make do with my indigo moon embroidered jackets until then. It's not the weather to wear it anyway. Well, not the weather to wear a chunky cardigan without a coat. In fact, I was looking enviously at these long quilted coats that go down to the ground, you know, with a big fur hood on, and thinking, oh, yeah, do I have a spare, whatever, pounds, which I don't, to buy one of these coats? I was like that at the end of last year to buy one, and I wished I had, because it was in the sale. And I dithered, and I dithered that much that my size sold out. If in doubt, don't dither. If you see something, you like it, and you've got the money in your purse, you should get it. But no, I kept umming and ahhing and thinking, will I wear it? Should I? I've got it. My goodness, I should have got it. It was a bargain price. But then they sold out of my size. And they only had thin sizes left. And I've told you before, the charity shops around here do not have anything that remotely draws my attention at all. I will go in again and have another look. Probably get very disappointed. I watch other people's thrift hauls and other people's charity shop hauls and think, why is there nothing in my size when I go thrift charity shopping? Why is there nothing? The answer is, stop putting weight. I put £3 on. Oh, I don't want to put £3 on. Might not sound a lot to you, but I'm supposed to be going the other way. I got on the scale today and I'm like, eek, eek, what have I been eating? Eek, eek. I'm supposed to be losing it, not gaining it. Oh, it's obviously the chocolates and things I ate at Christmas are just now deciding to pile on me. So it's back to the old frugality again, back to the try not to eat anything naughty. Well, it's knit club tomorrow, but unless the weather improves, I'm not going. I don't like going out in this weather. I know I hibernate. I know I'm a wimp. And I know I've got a scooter with sides that roll down, but the wind just batters. And you think you're going to tip over any moment. I know it's a heavy scooter, it probably would not tip over. My son says I'm being over dramatic. But when the wind goes zoom, zoom, and you're going down the seafront and you're like, oh my God, don't like this. So I'm a fair weather woman, yeah. I would rather sit in the warmth, with me coffee and me crochet, and see how far I can get with this jacket before I know I'm going to have to eventually go out to the shed, but not today. And see if I can find, there's plenty of colours in it, isn't there? There's plenty of colours. I'm sure I could find some blue or some green or something that I could use as an edging. I'm sure I could, because I cannot find any more. I've googled all over the place. And there's patterns for it, which I don't want because I'm using my own. But no wool. Now this one will finish the sleeve, but there won't be much left over to do another couple of inches on the body, because it's very short. It just about comes under the bust at the moment. I'd like it, maybe not long, but I'd like it just to come to my waist. And also I need a band, you know, so I could put at least one button at the top, you know, or whatever. I'll let you know what happens next. If I get out to the shed. I've got plenty of colours to choose from, haven't I? Just watch, there won't be one ball anything like that colour in the flipping shed. It's always the way. And I'm trying my hardest, as I said, not to order anything, yeah. I've got some red with sparkles in the front room, and I've got some black with no sparkles in the front room. So if I do decide to start something else, at least I've got something to start, haven't I? And then I've also got that other jacket to finish off. So I'm using the 4-ply done double, the fingering done double. But again, I wanted to go in the shed to see if I had any brighter colours to finish off the sleeves. I'm not going to that shed. I am just not going to the shed. My she shed, my crafting shed, my workspace. What can I call it? Yeah. Crochet Rocks calls hers the Yarn van because it was a caravan originally. But I can't call mine that. The wool shack. Except it's not mostly got wool in it. It doesn't sound the same acrylic shack, does it? No. It's got to be the wool shack, hasn't it? Or my crafting space, which it would be if I tidied it up, yeah. We're back to that one day again, aren't we? When it's not cold, not freezing, not raining, and we've got some daylight. You know, I'm going to go back now and see what I'm going to watch. Yeah. I'm going to do a sweater by Craft and a Cuppa. She's got some nice patterns if you've ever watched her channel. It's called Craft and a Cuppa. She's my kind of crocheter. Her mum was a hippie apparently, so she's following her mum's trend. Very bright colours, very jazzy jackets, hexagon jackets, sweaters, hats. My kind of crochet. My vibe, yeah. So I'm going to go and look. I haven't seen some of her old, I've looked at her latest videos, I haven't looked at her older ones, so maybe that's something to watch if my internet doesn't keep cutting out like it did on Saturday. I think it's the wind or whatever it is, the weather that cuts out the internet. I was watching some things yesterday on my TV, on the internet. It was like the ring of death going around. I'm like, oh God, you know. You're trying to watch something and they go, and they stop in mid-sentence and then you have to wait 5 minutes while it starts going again. And then they say another 3 sentences and then it stops again and you're like, oh God, yeah. But the terrestrial TV had absolutely nothing on it yesterday. Nothing at all. And I don't think tonight's any better. So I'm going to go now, and what have I got coming from? I've got something coming from the Amazon, but I don't think it's anything thrilling. Oh no, it's not. Toiletries is nothing interesting, you don't want to know. I've got some more beads on the way. Bid for another load of beads, but I don't think there's anything going to be thrilling in that bundle. But I have got a lady at the library that's making twiddle muffs. And so I've been giving her my big beads that I don't want anymore. And she's been incorporating them into these twiddle muffs, you know, for people with dementia. You know, you make them crinkly, you put bells on, you put buttons on, you put all sorts of things on. Apparently it keeps them occupied if they twiddle things, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go now, so thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and don't forget the thumbs up, please. And tell your friends. Bye for now.